Okay, folks, it's April 7th, Good Friday. It's cold and blustery today. I'm starting a very early greens patch within the garden. It's just a small part of the garden, but it'll give me an abundance of salad materials around the middle of May before I even plant the rest of the garden. Okay, what, what you see here is a row that has been deeply rototilled. And what I'm going to do right now is add compost. Basically, what I do here is add compost by hand. You can be generous with it because I get a lot of it. Okay, folks. See all these little white dots down here? That's it's fertilizer. You simply spread a little bit out, not too much. You don't want to burn your plants. You just enough, not too much. I also sprinkled some lime on there. Not too much of that either. My soil is generally acid, and compost is generally neutral. And I got pH meters and all that, but I play this by ear most of the time. Okay, all that stuff's just been tilled in. I'll let it sit a couple days and let it blend. Basically, this whole job took me less than a half an hour, actually 20 minutes. You know, minus running around putting stuff together. But this is about as easy as it gets. Well, folks, the tilling went so fast today on Good Friday that I'm filling up one of my water buckets. This is about 60 gallons. I still do things the old-fashioned way with a sprinkler bucket. I'm going to take a little walk and show you my water system. Right here, right up front, is a small ag tank for cows. It's 100 gallons. That gets filled up. Plus, I got a couple more little barrels like the one you just saw. Up the top of the hill, you see here another ag tank, water tank. This is 550 gallons. I set that up at the top of the hill. You can see down the bottom of the hill, there's another 550 gallon tank. So that's 1,100 gallons. This tank's 100. And I got a couple hundred with little barrels all over the place. And there's 2 wells on the property. And I also gather many gallons right straight off the roof. Okay? I usually don't have to water anything in the spring, but it's going to be dry for a week. So what I want to do is wet this freshly tilled stuff down and start the fertilizer and the lime to help it dissolve. So it'll be ready to go by the time I plant in a few days. It's still April 7th. While we're here, I want to show you the rhubarb patch. It's just coming up. I put away 6-7 mason jars a year, sometimes with raisins or strawberries. This rhubarb was here 66 years ago when we moved here. It's been quartered and retransplanted in several places. I gave away 16 plants in the last few years. I just didn't have any place for all that many rhubarbs. But yeah, I love rhubarb. Good stuff. Okay, folks, it's the 9th of April. I'm back out here getting the early patch ready. It's a nice, bright, sunny day. What I did was retill it, but very finely. And I'm going to start planting some stuff, okay? I just planted the spinach. See the little dots all over the place? It's like scatter seed. I'll show you that in a second. Okay, folks, this is how I plant this. This is lettuce and spinach and stuff like that. A lot of this stuff is like grass seed. You don't sit there and fill a little row up of it unless you really want to work hard. Oh, you scatter it like grass seed. See, I'm just going to scatter it. It's real easy. It only takes a few seconds. I just planted a whole bed of greens here. It's like grass. You press it down with your hands and then cover it with dirt after. It only needs a 1/4 inch of dirt. It's easy as possibly can be. Okay, folks, I'm also scattering some beets, radishes, and 2 kinds of radishes. And I'm saving, I got a lot of beet seed. Later, I plant nice rows of beets, and you want to get beets to go a little bigger. But here, I'm only going to let them get baby size so that they go along with the rest of the salad materials here. So it's the same thing. I'm just going to scatter them like grass seed. They want to go down a little deeper than the other seed, but you can press them in deeper or put more. You'll see how I put the dirt on top in a minute. I'm also putting in 2 kinds of radishes. I get the long French ones and a nice round red crunchy ones. I buy a lot of radish seed. I'm doing it like this right now because it's early, but later, like in a few weeks, you can put radishes anywhere. Put them on the side of your tomatoes, on the side of your squash, on the side of your corn. It doesn't matter. They grow so fast, the other plants don't even notice them, and they help keep the weeds out. And then you get all those radishes you want all summer. Radishes are really good for you. Well, folks, you've seen people plant lawns. After they scatter the seed, they run a roller over the top to press the seeds into the soil a little bit. That's what you do here. Take a nice hoe and you tamp the seeds down into the soil a little bit. Just tamp them down a little bit, nice and gentle. Okay, folks, I tamped the seeds down. Now what I'm going to do is cover the seeds. Some of the seeds are a 1/4 inch deep. Some want to go a 1/2 inch deep. What I do is I mix some compost and some soil. And then I go over. This is a screen here. And I just go over the row. I go over the row and sift out the good stuff and cover the seeds. You get what I'm doing? Then you dump the big stuff out into the woods somewhere. Okay, folks, now I'm installing a hoop house heat blanket system. Roll covers, they call them. Now, see these wires? They look like little covered wagon hoops. All they are is a regular heavy-duty wire for fencing bent. I bend it myself. It's real cheap to do. Easy to do, all homemade. Okay, folks, over the hoops go this white cloth. It's called roll cover. It lets the light and the rain in, but keeps the heat out. So that these plants are tough. They're early plants, but you don't want them to get hit by a frost. So there you have it, folks. Row, the entire row, 5 different crops, actually more than that. Hoops and row cover will actually give these early spring crops even a few weeks early. They'll be even earlier. This stuff lets in light and water, and it retains heat, so I'm not worried about frost or anything like that. Well, folks, I expect a nice pile of salad greens in about 3 weeks. It's about 21 days. and there'll be so much salad in there I can't possibly eat it all. So, and today it only took about 45 minutes, but I don't look at the clock, and it don't count me going in the shed because everything's disorganized in there. It takes me an hour just to find a simple nut and bolt. But anyway, I measure time by beer, and this all took me only 2 cans of beer. And this is non-transgender beer, non-transgender beer. I will report back in 3 weeks and show you what it looks like when it gets mature.